YouTube? It's Jonathan, and today we're doing a little bit of a Valentine's Day makeup tutorial. I'm going to be doing a pretty typical kind of smoky look for me, and I'm going to be using the typical kind of colors for Valentine's Day. I'm going to be using pink and purple on my eyes, which are two colors I don't normally go for with eyes, and we're gonna see what happens. A lot of the products that you're gonna see me use in this video are from Lancôme. The palette that I am kind of featuring for eyes is the Lancôme Audacity in Paris palette. I absolutely love this. And then I made sort of a large order of Lancôme products, and I'm gonna be testing some of them out for the very first time right here in this video, seeing how they work. So look forward to seeing some first impressions on a few products. I'm gonna be using a matte foundation that's brand new from them. This is the Tarte Idole Ultra Makeup Stick, and this is a matte finish, which is different for me. Hopefully it all works out. I'm actually gonna be using a luminous base underneath, so hopefully it'll all even out. This video is not sponsored. I just did a massive order on their website, and I've got quite a few new products to try out, and I'm excited. So let's get to it. I'm gonna start with primer. This is also new to me, but this is from Juice Beauty. This is their Phyto-Pigments Illuminating Primer, and I picked this up the other day because I was looking for a new illuminating primer, and this one kind of popped out at me because it is new, and it is free of a lot of things. It's like paraben, sulfate, silicone, PEG, glycol free. It's like literally like made out of fruit juice, and it's supposed to give a luminous glow. I wore it yesterday and I wore it the day before, and I liked it a lot. So I'm just applying one pump of that to my fingertips, smushing it all around, and then applying it to my face like you would any other primer. Since this is an illuminating primer, I'm going to focus it on the higher points of my skin. I'm also going to take this moment to prime my eyelid and under eye area using the Tarte CC Colored Clay Eye Primer. So I am just going to scribble this all over my eyelid area from lash line to brow bone, and then as well on the lower lash line and sort of into the inner corner, and then use my finger to warm the product up and pat it in. Now I'm going to try this foundation for the very first time. I picked up the shade 140 Ivoire N. I've never used this foundation, so let's hope it's the right color. And let's hope I like it. I normally don't really go for matte finish products, so this is gonna be something interesting for me. Let's all experience it together. Let's just. Okay, color's okay. I'm gonna see what happens with my fingers, but I also have a beauty blender and some brushes close by. Use as a foundation or concealer with medium to full coverage. Okay, and then it says oil-free, fragrance-free, transfer-resistant, smudge-resistant, non-comedogenic, dermatologically tested. Okay, so this is supposed to build to a full coverage. I will probably not build it that far because I don't like full coverage on my skin. But that being said, when it comes to foundation, you should always choose one that suits your skin type and tone. So this is like the best application of life. It's so smooth and buttery, and it blends right in. I'm not noticing like a super matte finish. It might set to a matte finish. It might just be right now that it's a little bit dewy, or maybe it's that primer underneath. But I'm blending this in with the flat kabuki brush from Beauty Junkies. I actually have a discount code for this in the description box below, and everything that I talk about today will be linked in the description box as well. Alright, my forehead is my problem area, so I'm gonna be as sparing as possible here. Foundation always tends to settle in my forehead lines from being too expressive. I would say this is a solid medium coverage, the way I've applied it with this flat brush. You could probably build it up quite a bit more if you really press the foundation in. I'm surprised that I didn't need to pull out the beauty blender for this. To conceal, I'm using another new product that I'm trying for the first time just now. This is the Effacern's Waterproof Concealer. I picked up the shade Light Buff, and I just was so intrigued by the idea of waterproof. I'm going to be applying this first with my fingertips, kind of tapping it in, then I might move to a brush or a beauty blender just to finish the job. Next, I'm going to be using another product from Lancôme. This is their Le Duo Contour and Highlight Stick, and I have the shade Ivoire, and there is a highlighting side and a contouring side, and this is just a cream contouring product. You all know I'm not the largest fan of contouring in the world, so I'm going to go ahead and swipe it on, and then I'm going to work with, I think, my beauty blender, but I also might try that Beauty Junkie brush. I'm taking this around my hairline also, just scribbling it on, and then I'm gonna blend it in with the brush. I'm also going to stripe a little bit of that on the jawline and blend it down And that is it for contour. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the highlighting side of the pencil, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that just over top of anywhere that I contoured. To give my skin a little bit more of a sun-kissed glow, I'm going to be using a bronzer called Sun Kiss from Lancôme. This is number 2, and this is a matte bronzer. And I'm just using that with a duo fiber brush and sweeping that over sort of the high points of my face where the sun would naturally hit me. For blush, I'm using a color called Miel Glacé, and it is just the most beautiful shade of soft, warm pink, and I'm applying that to the apples of my cheeks. So before I get to the eyes, I'm going to go ahead and do my brows. I'm going to use a lighter shade of blonde pencil because I'm doing such a strong eye. I don't think I need a super dark kind of chunky brow. I just want to keep it super light and natural and let the focus be on the eyes themselves. And for that, I'm using my IT Cosmetics Brow Power Super Skinny in the shade Universal Blonde. I'm just going to keep this as natural as possible. I still want a polished and defined brow, but I don't want a super sharp and edged out brow. Now that the brows are on, we can start working on the eyes themselves. I'm just going to use my finger and make sure that primer is not creasing or anything like that, and it is fully set. And then I'm going to start off by using a white cream shadow. This is Milk from NYX, one of their jumbo pencils. And I'm going to start by working that sort of lightly across the lid and into the inner corner. Using this shade is just going to brighten up the pink shade that we're using on the actual lid. It's not a particularly bright shade of pink, but this will make it a little bit more vibrant. And here comes the fun part. I'm going to be using Psychedelic Sister from Urban Decay. This is one of their 24/7 Glide on eye pencils. I'm going to, from about 2/3 of the way across, start by drawing a line. This can be a little bit messy, a little bit thick, and I want to kind of thicken it up into sort of a wedge shape in the outer corner. And then I'm going to use a fluffy brush and start to blend that edge out and up, especially into the outer corner and crease area. And just reapply and blend and reapply and blend. If you all ever get tired of smoky eye tutorials, just let me know. I always do smoky eyes because they suit my eye shape best. A contoured eye or a cut crease, they just don't really look as good on my shape. Because I have a very deep set crease naturally as it is. So I just prefer smoky eyes, but if you're tired of it, let me know. Now that those colors are on and blended, I'm going to start using the colors from the Audacity in Paris palette. I'm going to mention the shade names that I'm using down below, and I will kind of put a picture on the screen now so you can see everything. So on the inner portion and sort of towards the middle, I'm going to be using a pinkish shade and blending it out. Make sure there's no harsh edges. Just keep blending when in doubt for a smoky eye. And I'm just packing and pressing that onto the lid. And next I'm taking one of the matte shades on the fluffy side of the brush that comes in the palette and just using that to blend out that edge in the crease and blend it up towards the brow bone. The shade is very similar to the pinky shade, just slightly warmer and matte. And then I'm grabbing another lighter matte color and just blending that all the way right up to under the brow. And I'm also taking that same shade on a teeny tiny brush and just pressing that right onto the inner corner. Now grabbing the shimmery purple from the Audacity palette, I'm going to load up my brush with that same teeny tiny brush, and I'm just going to press it over top of the lash line. I'm also sweeping that purple shade around into the outer corner and crease, mimicking the same placement I used with the liner. For the lower lash line, I'm going back to that vibrant purple liner, and I'm going to etch about 1/3 of the way along the lower lash line and go back to my teeny tiny brush with that dark purple shadow and just blend the two together. And to soften that a little bit, I'm using a slightly fluffier but still teeny tiny brush and grabbing the pink shade from earlier, and I'm going to buff underneath that. Since I'm going to be using a few individual lashes, I'm going to go ahead and use a tiny bit of eyeliner just at the very base of the lashes, almost tightlining from above, and this is a dark brown pencil from Lancôme called Crayon Kohl in 100 Black Coffee. So I've applied about 5 or 6 little individual clusters on the outer corners of each eye. Now it's time to move on to lips. I'm gonna give you first a nude lip option, and then I'm gonna go ahead and amp it up and do a red lip option as well. For the nude option, I'm going to be using a color called Beige Mirage. This is one of the L'Absolu Rouge lipsticks from Lancôme, and it's shade 250. So that is the look with lip option number 1. I absolutely love this. This is how I would wear the look personally. You all know I love a good nude lip with a little bit of a sheen. Lip option number 2 is a little bit more daring. This is from NARS. It's one of their matte lip pencils in the shade Cruella, and this is just a beautiful deep red, perfect for Valentine's Day. Maybe not the perfect lip if you're gonna be kissing somebody all night, but I absolutely love the way that this kind of transformed the look into something a little bit more sultry. And that is the look. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below if you have any questions or want to see anything in specific coming up for spring. Make sure you check out my description box because I have a link to every single product that is mentioned and featured here today down there for you to check out, as well as all of my social media links. You can check me out on Facebook. You can also check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. All of those things are at JonTalks. Go ahead and click on my face now so that you can be subscribed to my channel to see all of my future videos. And I will see you all next time. Bye.